Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Putri Puspitarani and I'm from Seminar on Language C Class 2020. So now I would like to present my proposal entitled The Comparison of Male-Female Conversation Repair in Political Debate and Talk Show. So first thing first, talking activity involving two or more speakers or participants in which suggestions, emotions, and opinions are shared, as well as questions and answers are responded, or news and information are exchanged is called conversation. And the conversation may happen in any conditions or situations, whether it is in a formal situation or an informal situation. As Lidiko 2007 states in his book, a conversation is one of the most uses of human language in which it is about how people socialize, develop, and preserve their relationship with each other. And it means that social interactions happens if the conversation occurs. To have a conversation, it is very common for the speakers or the participants to make an error while talking. Thus, there's a study that analyzes the errors of talking in a conversation and called as conversation analysis or CA. Well, conversation analysis is basically an approach to the study of spoken discourse that looks at how people manage their conversational interaction. This statement based on Putri 2006. It means that conversation analysis concerns and communication management of people in during conversation. And conversation analysis aimed to identify, analyze, and understand a talk as a fundamental aspect of human social life. This statement based on Sidnell 2010. And in line with Sidnell, Lerner also states that conversation analysis as the role of conversation organization to understand the language in use. Thus, conversation analysis focuses on the interaction of people in doing conversation to identify, analyze, and understand the talk in conversation. Well, in conversation analysis, there are several approaches to analyze the conversation, and those are adjacency pair, preference organization, turn taking, and the last is repair. Well, adjacency pair and preference organization is the response to the interaction between the speaker and the hearer, while preference organization is a kind of response in a conversation that refers to the pattern in talk. Meanwhile, turn taking is when the speakers can organize their turn to speak in a conversation. And the last is repair. According to Hayashi, Raymond, and Sidnell 2013, is the error of utterances in the conversation by the speakers or the participants, such as misunderstandings and hitches. Well, however, this study or this present research is a repair as the analysis of conversation known as conversation repair. Well, conversation repair refers to the process where the speakers deals with the errors or problems which arise in a talk. And conversation analysis use the term repair then correction to indicate the broad phenomenon in a talk to identify which talk needs to be repaired. And Putri 2006 states that conversation repair is simply the way speaker correct his or her utterance in a talk, in a conversation. But it is argued by Skaglov and friends, conversation repair is not that simple because it's just only a kind of repair in an utterances, but conversation repair is a communicative phenomenon that helps to sustain social interaction in a communicative phenomenon that helps the people handle the problem itself. Well, conversation repair does not only correct the utterance of the speaker but also to comprehend communicative phenomena. And there are several researchers that have conducted a study on conversation repair in different approaches. First of all, it is a study about conversation repair in selected episodes of British late night show Graham Norton's show conducted by Beatty. She analyzed the types of repairs, the positions, and the patterns of repair in the selected episode of that talk show. She found four types of repairs appeared in the talk show, twice of other-initiated, other-repaired, 6 times of self-initiated, other-repaired, 7 times of other-initiated self-repair, and 81 times of self-initiated self-repair. And still, there are still 2 previous research that I wrote in my proposal, but I just mentioned one of them. And for the next is another approaches, which is a interview. So a study conducted by Nazila 2019, she analyzed the conversation repair in the police forensic investigation. So the researcher analyzed the conversational structure that appears in the interview itself. Well, the study mainly focused on the structure of conversation, which not only conversation repair, but also adjudicacy pair and turn taking. And the researcher analyzed the conversation repair in the interview, and she found there are 16 times of self-initiated other-repaired and other-initiated self-repair, and other-initiated other-repair was not found at all. And in line with Nazila, Sulistiani 2015 also conducted a conversation repair analysis on interviews. But the difference is she analyzed the interviews on Prabowo Subianto and Babita Sharma's interview on BBC News. And she found that self-initiated self-repair and other-initiated self-repair are the most dominant types of repair in this study. Although considerable studies have been devoted to the types of repairs, less attention have been paid to the types of errors. Hence, the present study not only focuses on the types of repairs but also the types of errors uttered by the speakers. Well, according to Kazemi 2011, there are 5 types of errors, which include a phonological error, morphological or lexical error, syntactic error, context-oriented error, and the last is information structuring error. Since the previous studies only talk about the repair, the types of repairs, the positions of repairs, and many else, which this study is not only focused on the types of repair itself, but also the errors of the repair. The errors of the utterance itself. And in this study, this present study will use the data source of political debate, which is the presidential debate 2016, which includes Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. And also for the talk show, the researcher used The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon as the informal situation. And yeah, the researcher will choose the selected episodes in it, which includes Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. And whereas the presidential debate is a public debate that's formally held during the presidential election, so this presidential debate is usually broadcast live on TV, radio, and in the internet. So regarding to the presidential debate, there have been several researchers use the presidential debate to be their data source. As a study conducted by Suwandi 2019, the researcher used presidential debate as the data source in a different approach. She analyzed the interaction on political debate focused on its gender and power. In line with Suwandi, Maharani 2018 also conducted a study in presidential debate of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, but the researcher analyzed the politeness strategies used by Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Therefore, the present study aims to investigate the types of errors uttered by Donald Trump as the male speaker and Hillary Clinton as the female speaker in the first presidential debate, the second presidential debate, and the third presidential debate, and in the talk show. Also as the data source, and the researcher will choose the selected episodes which includes Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton in it. And besides, the researcher also analyzes the types of repair both in the political debate and in the talk show. And the last is the researcher compares the types of repair and the types of errors in presidential debate and in the talk show. What are the differences? Well, for the problems of study, the first is what are the types of errors uttered by Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton occurring in the first until the third presidential debate and in the talk show of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. The second is how Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton repairs their utterances in the first until the third presidential debate and in the talk show of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. And the last is their differences between the repairs and the errors of both speakers. Well, the significance of this study is the present research is expected to provide the obvious contribution, especially in the field of linguistics, particularly in the conversation repair. This research is expected to convey and explain Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton's types of repairs and types of errors, both in the presidential debate and in the talk show. From the result, the researcher expects that this research can lead to the invention of new findings related to the conversation repair analysis as a guide for future studies. And last but not least, through this research, the researcher hopes that the readers will gain an understanding of repair phenomena. And the scope and limitation of the study is this research will use the first until the third presidential debate of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton in 2016 and the episodes of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton in The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon as the data source. The researcher will limit the subject of the research only to Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. And in determining the conversation analysis in both data source, the researcher will only apply one of 5 conversation analysis approach, which is conversation repair. And the definition of key terms you can see on my proposal that I've shared on WhatsApp group. Well, basically, conversation analysis I've explained before on the background of study, so I'll skip the explanation of conversation analysis and the conversation of repair, and now we directly move to the types of errors in repair. So, as I've said before in the background, that there are 5 types of errors in repair, and the first is phonological error. This type of error repair involves replacing one phoneme or to another phoneme, adding or deleting phoneme, or changing the order of phoneme within a word. This is based on Skagglove. So, as the example, carbon dioxide and water vapor absorbs the heat when it is radiated from the Earth's surface. So based on that example, the speaker made a phonological error in the second, no, it's not the second sentence, in the hit or the had or the hit, and changing the pronunciation of word hit to be had or the opposite. And for the second is morphological error. It is performed by the replacement of one part of speech by another or the same word. And in this category, the speaker intended to change the word or the morpheme. So for the example, racism still exists in each one of single blah 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 blah. So there's a errors in it, which is including morphological error, and the speaker replaces one part of speech by another or the same words, like exchange, racism, like that. And syntactic error, this type of error in repair deals with the order of elements in a causal structure or syntactic formulation. So for the example, she has stressed by this because of the previous survey that say that the gifted blah 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 blah. So that another example, this one, the gift adolescents who are faced with more blah 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 blah. So from that example, the word is changed to be are, like that. And the fourth is context-oriented error, and this type of error is demands for context in which speech takes place. For example, we can see that on the graph that the GDP blah 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 blah. From the example, the speaker tries to specify the things, the graph things that I said before, by mentions on the graph to make the recipient or the hearer understand. And the last of types of errors is information structuring error. And this type is the way information is presented to the hearer, and it deals with the replacement of one message to other message. For example, as we all know, the gamblers of Macau is mainly from Hong Kong, because some visitors from China, because it is too close, or blah 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 blah. And from that example, the speaker abandoned the information about Hong Kong and changed to another information of it. And we move to the types of errors. The first is self-initiated self-repair, which is the speaker signal the way to resolve the problem. For example, I'm heading off the shoes, Mary's house tonight. So the trouble source is the name of a friend corrections. The speaker wants to go to Mary's house tonight, but instead of saying and mention Mary's name, the speaker mentions Sue's name. And the second is other initiated self-repair, which this type of repair in which the recipient signals the problem in the talk and the speaker resolves the problem. For example, how I do the example. So this is students and this is teacher. Students say, I want to go back to my home. Then teacher say, your home? And student reply, sorry, I mean to my chair. So from the conversation that I said before, the teacher tries to correct student's utterance. When the student wants to go back to his chair, he said he wants to go back to his home. And the third types of repair is self-initiated other repair. So this is quite rare when the speaker is wrong in utter something and the recipient or the other speaker tries to correct the utterance. before the speaker does. So this one. Okay, this is A, this is B. I need more storage space on my computer, so I need to get a new drive. What? And B said, a hard drive? Yeah, that's right, a hard drive. And from the conversation above, the recipient or the hearer tries to correct the speaker's utterance before the speaker does. And the fourth, which is the last types of error, is other initiated, other repaired, which is the type of repair. This type of repair is the recipient signals are wrong and he or she tries to correct it themselves. And for example, okay, this is C, this is D. Are you glad that today is payday? B said, well, actually payday is tomorrow. From the conversation above, the recipient corrects the information uttered by the speakers. Thus, the recipient repairs the speaker's mistake in the utterances. And 2.3 about political debate, which is a formal discussion broadcasted to the public through TV, radio, or internet. And according to Benoit 2007, there are some characteristics of political debate, which the first is voting is a comparative act, and the second, the candidates must be separated from the opponents. And the third, the candidates can represent their opinions, then the opponents are allowed to attack, defend, and acclaim. And 2.4 is about the talk show. As Timberg 2002 states in his book, the talk show is a creation of 20th century broadcasting directed by a host who is responsible for the tone and the direction for guiding and setting the limits of the talk with the guest. And the guest of talk show can be an experts, celebrities, and the government people and so on, as long as the topic is not too strict and heavy, so the situation is normally informal and relaxed. And we move to the methodology. For the research design, the researcher will use a descriptive qualitative approach, which qualitative research focuses on words rather than numbers, although the numbers will be used to indicate the frequency found in a transcript or form of the action occurs. It is based on Damon and Holloway 2011. And the descriptive qualitative approach will be adopted for collecting and analyzing the data of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton's utterances in the first until the third presidential debate and in the talk show. And then the data collection for the first is research data. The data source of this research will be in the forms of words, phrases, and sentences uttered by Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, both in political debate and in the talk show. And the researcher will choose the data from the first until the third presidential debate in 2016 videos and the episodes of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton in the talk show named The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. And those videos will be taken from YouTube in NBC News YouTube channel and from The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon channel. 3.2.2 about data source and subject of the study. So the source of data will be the transcribed video of the first until the third presidential debate and also the episodes of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton in The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon talk show. And the researcher will use the 2016 presidential debate, and the talk show is also occurs in 2016, but there are several videos that are not held in 2016, and those videos will be downloaded from YouTube. And since the data will be in the forms of words, phrases, and sentences, the subjects of the research will be Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. And the criterion the criterion that will be applied as the subject in this research is the person who is prominent in the presidential debate and the prominent guest in the talk show. So the next is about the instrument. This research will only use the human instrument, and the researcher will be the main research instrument to collect the data. The researcher will collect the data by analyzing the videos and reading the transcript of the videos. Moreover, the researcher will also be the main instrument in analyzing the data. 3.2.4 about the data collection. So the first, the researcher will searching the videos, and the researcher will search the videos on YouTube, obviously, and after searching, the researcher will download those videos, those selected videos. And second is watching the video, and the researcher will carefully listen to the video, and at the same time, the researcher also take a look at the transcript of the video. And to simplify the analysis, the researcher will also transcribe the English subtitles. And the last is about collecting the data. The researcher will focus on Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton's utterances in the video and the transcript, and the researcher will mark the data which contains the types of errors and the types of repairs uttered by Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. 3.3 Data analysis, identifying for the first. And the researcher will identify the selected data that indicates the types of errors and the types of repairs uttered by Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton both in the presidential debate and in the talk show. And the researcher will be marked the types of the types of errors, and each type of errors will be highlighted in different colors. So yellow for the phonological error, turquoise for the morphological error, purple for the syntactical error, green for the context-oriented error, and gray for the information structuring error. And for the types of repair, the researcher will provide an initial form of 4 types of repair. For the first is self-initiated self-repair will be SISR, and self-initiated other repair is SIOR, and other initiated self-repair is OISR, and the last is other initiated other repair, which is OIOR. B. Classifying. After identifying the data, the researcher will classify the identified data, which are linguistically indexed through the table. The researcher will make the table of the identified data after identifying it to simplify the classifications. And C. Discussing. The researcher will describe the classified data to answer the research problems. Then the researcher will explain the analysis. The researcher will also complete the analysis with the interpretation based on the investigation. And the last is drawing conclusion. Last but not least, this part is also important. The researcher will draw a conclusion based on the result of the 3 steps above from the identifying and classifying and what is the last? Discussing. And it covers the types of errors and also the types of repairs uttered by Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. And yes, the last is 3.4 about the research schedule. You can see on my proposal, and you can also see the references I used for my proposal. And if you have a question, you may ask on WhatsApp group today and maybe tomorrow too. Okay, well, thank you very much for your nice attention. I hope you gain something from this video, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.